Hello and welcome back to the channel. After enjoying the nature and cities of northern Czech Republic, today we move to its capital, Prague.
And if you like our video, do not forget to like it, subscribe and activate notifications so that you know when we upload a new video.
As mentioned in the video intro, we finished our tour of northern Czech Republic and are heading south to its capital, Prague, located on the banks of the Vltava River, with a population close to 1.5 million inhabitants. Regarding parking, you won't have any problems. We parked our camper van next to a huge stadium, very close to the tram transport, allowing quick access to the historic center. In the video description, we leave you the link to the official website where all the city's parking options are detailed. Historically, Prague is divided into 5 independent districts: Hradčany or Castle District, Malostrana or Lesser Town, Staromoto Old Town, Novmoto or New Town, and Josefov or Jewish Quarter. Since we arrived in Prague in the early afternoon, we decided to walk to the castle area, encountering along the way the Strahov Monastery, founded in 1140, which boasts a valuable library, a picture gallery, and the Church of the Assumption, built between 1743 and 1752, whose beautiful interior you can visit for free. Leaving the monastery grounds from the opposite side, we reached a small vineyard, which is usually not very crowded in the afternoon, and from which we enjoyed an impressive panoramic view of the city of Prague. Near the viewpoint is the impressive Sauninski Palace, the largest Baroque palace in Prague, which today houses the country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Opposite the palace is the Loreto of Prague, a pilgrimage site dedicated to the Virgin Mary, built in the 17th century, and inside which we find a replica of the House of the Virgin Mary where the Annunciation took place. From the square where the Loreto is located, we continued enjoying our walk through the castle district, through cobblestone streets surrounded by beautiful houses with curious details, such as Sauninska Street, where we found a small but beautiful romantic hotel, or Nový Svět Street, another beautiful cobblestone street with picturesque houses. Walking through these beautiful and picturesque streets, we reached a large square, Hradčany Square, surrounded by impressive palaces such as Martiniki Palace, built in the Renaissance style at the end of the 16th century, and with a facade adorned with beautiful engravings of the life of Hercules. In this square we also find the Tomskansky Palace, sold in 1718 to the Grand Dukes of Tuscany, whose coat of arms still adorns the facade, or the Schwarzenbergsky Palace, which houses the National Gallery of Prague, with an exhibition of Baroque paintings, decorative objects, and weapons. Opposite the museum is the Archbishop's Palace, which serves as the residence of the Archbishop of Prague, built in 1562, and undergoing several transformations in its architectural style until the current late Baroque style. Next to the Archbishop's Palace, we find the entrance to the impressive castle, a symbol of the Czech state for over 1,000 years, and which is one of the largest citadels in the world, integrated by ancient palaces, ecclesiastical and administrative buildings, fortifications, gardens, and picturesque places such as Golden Lane, built around several courtyards, in one of which we began our visit, the fourth courtyard, located to the left of the main entrance, St. Matthias Gate, where we found ourselves and enjoyed a beautiful garden. From this garden, we reached the Powder Bridge, located between the Royal Gardens and the Citadel, and located over a wooded area ideal for walks. It leads to another of the castle entrances. From this entrance, we access the second courtyard of the castle, where the picture gallery and the exhibition of the treasury of St. Vitus Cathedral are located, and in whose center we find the Karlova Fountain, one of the oldest fountains in Prague, built for the coronation day of Emperor Leopold. We then moved on to the third courtyard, where we suddenly found ourselves facing the impressive facade of St. Vitus Cathedral, the largest and most important temple in Prague, and where, apart from masses, the coronations of the kings and queens of Bohemia were also held, and where the remains of the country's patrons, kings, nobles, and archbishops are also deposited. In this third courtyard, in addition to the cathedral, we find several palaces, such as the Old Royal Palace, although the magnificent cathedral and the impressive Great South Tower, a large tower almost 100 meters high, built at the end of the 14th century, and which can be visited if you are willing to climb the 287 steps, where you can also admire the largest bell in the Czech Republic, called Sigismund and weighing about 15 tons, stand out above all. Next to the third courtyard, we find St. George's Square, where the colorful facade of St. George's Basilica stands out, whose red facade is beautifully illuminated by the rays of the setting sun. And we continue to what is undoubtedly one of the most visited places in the castle. We are referring to Golden Lane. This is one of the most emblematic places in Prague Castle, and it was created at the end of the 15th century after the construction of the new fortifications in the north of the castle. This picturesque place, with houses of colorful facades, is full of myths and legends that have also attracted numerous artists and writers, including the famous Franz Kafka. And passing by Lobkowicz Palace, where a good number of works of art are displayed, we reach the Black Tower at the other end of the castle, and crossing one of the three entrance gates of the enclosure, we reach another viewpoint with a spectacular panoramic view of the city of Prague. And at the beginning of the old castle stairs, we ended a pleasant afternoon walk, which allowed us to enjoy this part of the city without the crowds and bustle of tourists. A new day visiting Prague, and if the previous afternoon we enjoyed a quiet afternoon walk, we returned to the castle, and although it is early, it is already full of visitors. As for the tickets, there are several types depending on what you want to visit. There is a ticket for the main circuit, which includes the Old Royal Palace, St. George's Basilica, the Cathedral, and Golden Lane. Then there is another ticket for the permanent exhibitions, another for the picture gallery, and a fourth for the panoramic tower of the cathedral. We chose the first option, which costs about 18 euros, and we started the visit at the cathedral, built in 1344 on top of a previous building, and whose Gothic interior receives natural light through incredible stained glass windows. In the cathedral, we find the royal pantheon, the crown jewels, and the chapel of St. Wenceslas, a jewel of Gothic art decorated with precious stones and gold inlays. Very close to the cathedral, we find the old royal palace, in which the Great Hall of Vladislav stands out above all, which served from the 16th century, especially for royal representation, and being the most important representative hall in the country. Its history dates back to the 12th century, and it was the historical seat of the sovereigns of Bohemia until the central power was transferred to the newer rooms of the castle. We then visited the interior of St. George's Basilica, founded in 920 and converted into a monastery 50 years later, suffering a fire in 1142 and rebuilt in Romanesque style. The interior of the basilica is quite austere, and in the main nave there are several tombs, including that of Vladislav I, father of St. Wenceslas. Then we went to the famous Golden Lane, which houses in several of the houses reconstructions of different types of housing, from the Renaissance residence of the castle's artilleryman, or the home of a famous 20th century fortune teller, who lived here from 1914 until her death in World War II at the hands of the Gestapo. Another of the houses was occupied by Josef Kafta, a film historian and collector, who hid copies of Czechoslovak films that the Nazis intended to destroy. But undoubtedly, the most famous inhabitant of Golden Lane is the writer Frank Kafka, who lived and wrote in house number 22 during the First World War. The houses were inhabited until the Second World War, but already during the First Republic, care was taken that the picturesque character of the street did not change during the renovations, its last residents leaving in 1953. Having finished our visit to the castle, we went down the old castle stairs and entered the Malostrana district or lesser town and headed towards Charles Bridge. But before reaching this emblematic monument of Prague, we took the opportunity to delight in and savor some of the city's typical suites next to the lesser town tower, a tower whose upper part can be visited, and which is constituted not by one but two towers connected by a gate, built in different eras and styles, and whose gate was the entrance to the lesser town district from Charles Bridge, which we visited next, and which, as you can see in the mid-morning, and even more so on a weekend, is completely crowded with tourists. This bridge over the Vltava River offers another beautiful panoramic view of the city. It is the oldest bridge in the city, built to replace the old Judith Bridge, which suffered extensive damage from floods in 1342. Built with sandstone blocks and flanked at its ends by the towers of the lesser town and the old town, it is decorated with statues of 30 saints, the most famous being the statue of St. John Nepomuc. At the other end of the bridge, we find the Old Town Tower, the entrance to this district of the city, built in Gothic style and also conceived as a symbolic arch of victory through which the Czech kings passed in their coronation processions. and which we also crossed to enter the old town. At the entrance to the district, a beautiful square welcomes us, with several monuments such as the Church of St. Vltava, the Prague History Museum, or the Charles Bridge Museum. And in the Charles Bridge Museum, we took the opportunity to take a cruise through the Venice of Prague, one of the many cruises that allow you to enjoy Prague from the perspective of the Vltava River. This cruise, the link to which I leave in the video description, costs about 22 euros, with a drink included on board, and during the journey you will receive information in a total of 19 languages. Departures are made every 10 minutes, starting the journey under Charles Bridge, and as we said, it allows you to discover Prague from the surface of the Vltava River. The journey takes us to Camper Island, bordered by the Vltava River and the Strahov Canal, an old area of orchards and mills, some of which still remain from the medieval period. After this short cruise, which we recommend, we continued walking and dodging tourists on our tour of the old town, walking through streets such as the beautiful Karlova Street, which gradually takes us to the Old Town Square, a beautiful square surrounded by magnificent monuments, and which is undoubtedly one of the main tourist attractions of the city. Next to the tourist office and several palaces, in the town hall tower, we find the famous Prague Astronomical clock, a masterpiece of the 15th century and the oldest working clock in the world, and around which hundreds of tourists gather every hour to watch as several animated figures offer a curious spectacle, which we already showed in a short, and whose link we leave in the video description. After enjoying the curious astronomical clock, we headed to the center of the Old Town Square, full of historical buildings, such as Kinsky Palace, which today is the National Gallery of Prague, the Church of St. Nicholas, the Town Hall Tower where we said the astronomical clock is located, and the Church of Our Lady before Tyn, built in the 14th century on top of an old Romanesque church, and which impresses above all with its Gothic facade with two 80-meter towers. And from the square through several streets, we continued enjoying the old town until we reached the Jewish quarter, which we could not fully enjoy as it was Saturday and all the synagogues were closed. In this district we find 6 synagogues and the Jewish cemetery, which surprises with its thousands of tombstones concentrated in a small space, and where we ended our visit to Prague, which due to lack of time, we could not enjoy other monuments, such as the Municipal House, the Powder Tower, Kafka's Head, the Dancing House, or the old Virad Fortress, places that, like others we have shown you, you should enjoy and visit during your visit to the beautiful city of Prague.